I share the poem I'm about to share, I'll tell you a little bit about the origins of it. It comes from a couple of strands in terms of my experiences as an educator, the lens in which I tried to write, looking at intersectionality in terms of how womanhood gets constructed historically and globally, and a really good friend two good friends who impacted the shaping of this poem. So in terms of my experiences as an educator, I've been a high school English teacher, assistant professor, instructional coach, and also an educational consultant, working in suburban schools in upstate New York and also working in New York City. And some of the most interesting experiences I've had with principals who have been very resistant, and resistant in the context of when I would come to their school sites, they would only want me to work with the teachers of color who were working with the children, or the students rather, who were the most problematic. And so with all the years I had spent in terms of education and using education as a vehicle for being an agent of change, it was interesting, I'm saying in quotation marks, to be marginalized just so. So that's one lens. The other lens in terms of my writing as a poet, as I tried to examine womanhood globally, whether how womanhood gets defined in the context of certain procedures such as infibulation or genital mutilation, how it gets constructed in the sense of matrimony. In the case in poem I'll share a little bit later is about in India how dowry is used as a tool of extortion, and in the event of certain marital promises not being fulfilled, in some instances women are set on fire as a punishment for that. So that's another lens. The third lens is I became a mother late in life. I had my first child at the age of 40. And many of my friends had already had children, much older, and I was coming into it quite new. But I have two friends that have really helped to shape who I'm becoming as a mother. One of them is my friend Tiffany Gardner, who left working as an attorney and working for a nonprofit organization to be a stay-at-home mom, and gave the model to me of motherhood as an act of social justice. And that being in the sense of trying to use your motherhood as a vehicle for providing an equal playing field for your children, particularly with her having two sons. And now I have two sons. And another person who's also impacted the poem I'm about to share is Ghana.
Don't say me.
Yes. Ghana didn't know I was going to put her on blast. She'll tell you, I'm the quiet, shy one. But I know, in love. But it was an interesting experience how I came to meet Ghana. And it was just, it's just divine intervention, where somehow we have a mutual friend, and Ghana had posted an annual party that she has at her house. And through this mutual friend, Ghana had sent out an invite, and I don't know how we exactly started talking, but Ghana sent out the invitation. And this was at the time when as Elijah was saying, Trayvon Martin had just recently lost his life. And that's the time when I just had my first son. And I was very torn up about this. Like, what am I going to be able to do to protect my son? What am I going to be able to do as a mother, as a black woman, as an African American, to keep him safe? So my husband and I showed up at Ghana's event with our first son. And Ghana introduced herself, gave hugs and kisses, put Keith on her hip, talked a little bit more, and went right in the house. And there was just such a sense of relief, because I met another mother that in just that one gesture knew what that struggle was like, and was like, I got you, and took to my son as if it was her own son. I mean, I'm about to cry about that now, but that gave me such peace, because my baby found home in another mother. And my second baby found a home too. Like when years later I had my second son. Ghana, we showed up. Kerwin and I were trying to get a little something to eat. Ghana took Maceo. Maceo traveled somewhere for an hour, came back to us, and it was like, well, we actually had a full stomach after that. But the point being is that those are all the things that have helped to shape and inform the poem I share called The Dreams of Brown Mothers. The dreams of brown mothers murmur and hunt for the void of dark blue, the forgotten, untrue, disbelieved pocket where their male kin and children are snatched captive, to rehearse again the breaking of bones, and bloom to fit unnatural, untimely graves, earth, unearthed, too early, too soon. Too many lay assembled in unholy work, becoming food for roots, hungrily groaning, growing strange fruit, branches hanging with circumcised leaves. But we mothers war, reopening wounds, opening our wounds to the dawn, despite risk of recruitment as witness to this perverse turn of cycle, again with hands up, from churning, blistering, soaking in prayer, rebel word by word, day by day, child by child, teen by teen, man by man. Then swallow. For in this rebellious work, we must look always to the eyes of our male kin and new cubs, risk heartbreak and spine snap to love the unspared. Risk. The front door will someday be answered to learn that the routine commute to work, returning home with bottle of iced tea and Skittles, enjoying cold crunch of snowballs inside sculpting young hands at the playground. Music played and enjoyed too loudly. Lucy sold loosely. Breathing. Yielded counterfactual judgment, a forgivable offense, a mistake that has claim again and other. This dual understanding of brown mothers amazes me. Still willing to give birth, brazen in bearing children of earth, housing spirits of high, ever enduring, bearing risk, to heal, to know, to believe.